Yoran floated above the quiet surface of Dralara, the desert planet where no human had dared to linger for decades. The sky was a soft lavender, with twin suns casting long, slow shadows over the pale dunes. He had been sent on a scouting mission, nothing more. But the moment his ship touched down, something unusual caught his attention. A faint glimmer, not like the metal of his own vessel, but softer. Almost like liquid light flickered between two dunes. Curiosity tugged at him, and he moved carefully toward the source. Every step in the soft sand made a small cloud swirl around his boots. Then he saw her. She was unlike any alien Yoran had ever seen. Small, lithe, with skin that shimmered silver in the sunlight. Her eyes were large, deep pools of green, and they seemed to shine even without reflection. But what struck him most was her chains, delicate-looking bands of glowing metal that clung to her wrists and ankles. She was sitting on the sand, curled inwards, and despite the beauty of her appearance, there was sadness in her posture. Yoran's heart tightened. He crouched, careful not to startle her.
I'm not here to hurt you,
he said, softly. She looked up, startled, and took a cautious step back.
Who are you?
My name is Yoran. I'm a traveler from Earth.
I don't mean to harm you,
he said. Her eyes narrowed slightly, suspicion and fear mixing together.
You humans? You take?
You control. You enslave. She spat the words, each one careful, measured.
Yoran shook his head. Not all of us.
Some of us, we help. She seemed to consider his words, glancing at the dunes around her, as if expecting danger to spring from every shadow. The chains that bound her weren't ordinary. They hummed faintly, glowing with a strange energy that Yoran didn't recognize. He knelt down, studying them.
They are old, he murmured to himself. Not made here.
Not from Dralara. The alien girl, her name, he later learned, was Lyra, watched him closely. She didn't speak, but the tension in her body suggested she was ready to bolt at any moment.
I can help you, Yoran said finally, reaching into his pack for a small device. It might take time, but I can try to free you.
Lyra hesitated, then slowly allowed him to approach. His fingers worked carefully, tracing the patterns on the chains, trying to understand their mechanism. The hum grew slightly louder, vibrating against the sand and making the air around them shimmer.
You will not take me? She asked cautiously.
No, I'm only here to help, Yoran assured her.
Hours passed as he examined the chains, testing his device, trying different techniques. The suns dipped lower, painting the sky in streaks of gold and pink. Lyra watched him silently, her initial fear gradually softening into curiosity. She told him little, but he sensed her trust growing, tiny thread by tiny thread. Finally, a faint click echoed as the device interfaced with the glowing chains. The hum softened, and Lyra pulled gently at the bands. They slid off her wrists with surprising ease, leaving faint, glowing marks on her skin that faded quickly.
She flexed her hands almost in disbelief. I am free, she said, voice trembling with emotion. Yoran smiled.
Yes, you are free.
For a long moment they just looked at each other, two beings from entirely different worlds, sharing a moment of quiet triumph. Lyra then stood, brushing the sand from her shimmering silver skin. I must leave this place, she said.
They will come back.
Yoran nodded. I can take you somewhere safe.
Somewhere humans and aliens work together. Somewhere you can belong.
Her eyes widened slightly. Belong, humans?
Not all humans, he replied gently.
Some of us believe in helping, not taking. We believe in friendship. Lyra studied him, then seemed to make a decision.
She took a careful step closer. Then, "I will trust you, for now," she said. Jiran offered her a hand, and she took it. The moment their hands touched, a warmth spread through both of them, not just physical, but a connection of understanding. It was fragile, new, but real. The wind picked up, carrying grains of sand across the dunes. Together, they made their way back to his ship. Lyra moved with surprising grace, despite never having walked on this kind of sand before. She watched the horizon, her green eyes reflecting the twin suns' fading light.
"You must tell me," she said softly. "What is Earth like? Why do some humans help instead of hurt?" Yoran thought for a moment, trying to find words simple enough to explain a complicated world.
Earth is many things, good and bad. But people can choose. Some choose kindness, some choose fear.
You have chosen to trust.
That is courage!
She had grown up in chains, taught that freedom was dangerous, that trusting others could mean betrayal. Yet, for the first time, she felt something unfamiliar. Hope. Hope, she murmured. Yes, Yoran said, smiling. Hope is the first step toward change. As night fell, the desert transformed. The twin moons rose, casting silvery light over the dunes. Strange, glowing creatures began to stir. Small insects and flying orbs that seemed drawn to Lyra's shimmering presence. She watched them, eyes wide with wonder.
They are not dangerous, Yoran said. They sense life like you. They are curious, not cruel.
Lyra knelt, reaching out to a small, floating orb. It hovered near her hand, pulsing softly with light. She smiled for the first time in years, a real smile that lit up her entire face. You are different, she whispered. Different from those who held me. Joran chuckled softly. I hope that difference is enough to keep you safe. The ship's engines hummed to life as they boarded. Joran guided her to the passenger deck, where she looked around with awe. Every human touch in the design, smooth surfaces, warm lights, soft sounds, felt safe, comforting.
Where are we going? She asked, curiosity now blending with lingering fear. Somewhere far from here, Yoran replied.
Somewhere you can learn and grow. Somewhere safe for beings like you. Lyra nodded slowly. She had no idea what the future held, but for the first time, she felt it might hold something good. The ship lifted off, leaving the desert of Dralara behind. The dunes shrank, the pale sands blending into the distance, and the twin suns dipped below the horizon. Lyra watched them, her chains gone, but her past still present in her memories. Yet now, she had a companion, a human, who had shown her trust instead of cruelty. And for the first time, she believed that, perhaps, across the vastness of space, friendship and freedom could exist, even between species that had never met before. The stars stretched out ahead, vast, endless, full of possibilities. And as the ship sailed toward them, Lyra felt a small, steady hope growing in her chest. She had escaped her past. She had found a friend. And now, perhaps, she could find her future. Yoran watched her, sensing her quiet thoughts. The universe is bigger than fear, he said softly.
Bigger than chains, bigger than pain, and we are just at the beginning of it.
Lyra looked at him and nodded. Then, let us see it together, she said, her voice firm, determined. And for the first time, both human and alien knew that their journey was only beginning. But it was a journey of freedom, trust, and discovery that neither of them would ever forget. The stars beckoned, endless and bright, and with courage and hope in their hearts, they moved forward into the unknown. The ship hummed quietly as it sailed through the star-speckled expanse. Lyra stood by the viewing window, her silver skin reflecting the soft glow of the distant stars. The universe stretched endlessly before her, vast and mysterious, and every glittering point of light seemed to promise something new. She had never imagined she would see this, never imagined freedom could feel so real. Yoran watched her silently, leaning against the control panel. He understood her wonder. The first moments of freedom were always fragile, and he knew that the galaxy was full of surprises, some gentle, some challenging. But he also knew that with courage and hope, they could face whatever came next.
Where are we going exactly? Lyra asked, her voice soft, filled with curiosity. Somewhere called Ealoria, Yoran replied.
It's a hub of knowledge and safety. Humans and aliens live and learn together there. You'll be safe, and you'll have time to understand everything that's happening in the universe. Lyra nodded, though her green eyes were still cautious. She had spent her life in confinement, surrounded by rules she had never chosen. Even now, aboard the ship, she felt the old fear whispering in the back of her mind. What if freedom was just another kind of trap?
You don't understand, she said quietly.
They, the ones who kept me, they never let go. Freedom, it doesn't last.
Yoran shook his head gently. I understand more than you think.
But freedom isn't something given, it's something we claim, step by step.
You've already claimed it once, you can do it again.
Her gaze lingered on him, as if weighing his words. Slowly, she allowed herself to relax, just a little. The ship drifted past asteroid belts and glowing gas clouds. Lyra leaned forward, fascinated by the colors and shapes of the cosmos. Tiny flashes of light danced across her eyes as comets streaked past. For a moment, she forgot her chains, her fear, her past. She was simply Lyra, watching the universe unfold. Yoran smiled.
It's beautiful, isn't it? The universe has a way of showing us that there's more to life than fear.
I never knew anything like this existed. The silence that followed was comfortable. Neither spoke for a long while, lost in thought, each marveling at the vastness around them. But soon the peaceful voyage was interrupted. The ship's sensors beeped softly, indicating an approaching signal. Yoran frowned and leaned over the console. The signal was faint but persistent, a transmission coming from a small moon nearby.
Someone is trying to communicate, Joran said. It's not human.
Lyra's eyes widened. An alien? Most likely, Joran replied. We should respond carefully. They activated the communication system, and a soft, melodic voice filled the cabin.
Travelers, we sense your passage.
You are not of harm, are you? Lyra tilted her head. It speaks with music? Joran nodded.
Yes, some species communicate through sound, rhythm, and harmony.
Let's reply.
He adjusted the console, sending a simple message of peace.
The response came quickly, almost as if the moon itself were alive.
You carry a companion?
She is vulnerable. She must be guided carefully. Lyra's heart skipped a beat. The voice seemed to recognize her, though she didn't understand why. Vulnerable, she whispered. Yes, Yoran said softly. They can sense your history, but I promise you're safe with me. The voice continued. If you seek protection, descend to the surface. Guidance awaits. But beware, some dangers are hidden even on the moon. Lyra looked at Yoran, torn between excitement and fear. Should we go?
We must, Joran said firmly.
We need allies, and they might know more about your past. The moon could help us prepare for what's ahead. The ship altered course and descended through the moon's atmosphere. As they approached the surface, they saw an iridescent forest sprawling across glowing hills. Trees shimmered in every color imaginable, their leaves glowing faintly. Streams of light flowed like rivers, and small creatures moved gracefully through the air, leaving trails of luminescence. Lyra's breath caught.
It's magical, she whispered. It is, Yoran said.
And it's safe, mostly. But remember what they said. Dangers can hide even here. The ship landed on a smooth platform carved from a natural crystal formation. The doors opened, revealing a small group of beings waiting for them. They were tall and elegant, with translucent skin that reflected the light like glass. Their eyes were deep pools of color, changing with every emotion. One stepped forward, bowing slightly.
Welcome, travelers. I am Saren, guide of this place.
You carry one who has been held. Fear not, she will be safe here.
Lyra hesitated, then stepped forward. She could feel the genuine warmth emanating from Saren, a kindness she hadn't felt in years.
Slowly, she allowed herself to move toward the guide. You will protect me? She asked cautiously.
Protection comes from understanding, not force, Saren replied gently. Here you will learn.
Here you will grow. And here you will never be forced against your will.
Joran smiled, relieved. That's all I could ask for. They walked together into the heart of the glowing forest.
Lyra marveled at the plants and creatures. Some glowed softly, others pulsed with rhythm, as if breathing in time with the universe itself. Tiny creatures flitted past her, curious but unafraid. She reached out, and one landed on her shoulder, radiating a soft light that felt warm against her skin.
It's peaceful, she said softly. It is, Joran replied. And it will help you heal. They reached a small clearing where crystal buildings emerged naturally from the ground.
Inside, the walls hummed softly with energy, and strange symbols glowed faintly, conveying information without words. Saren guided them to a room filled with soft light and comfortable spaces.
You may rest here, Saren said. The others will arrive soon to teach and assist.
Take your time. Freedom is a journey, not a single step.
Lyra sank into a soft, crystalline seat, feeling a strange calm wash over her. For the first time in years, she felt safe. Truly safe. Yoren stood nearby, watching her. This place, it's like nothing I've ever seen, he said. It's home, maybe, Lyra murmured, still unsure of the word but drawn to its meaning. Over the next few days, they began to explore the moon. Lyra learned about its unique ecosystem, the glowing plants, the gentle creatures, and the rhythm-based communication system of its inhabitants. She discovered that music could convey emotion, instructions, even stories of history. Every day she practiced with Saren and the others, slowly building confidence. Yoran watched her growth with pride. He had rescued her from chains, but now he realized that true freedom meant giving her the tools to thrive, the confidence to face the universe on her own terms. One evening, as twin moons rose in the sky, casting silver light across the forest, Lyra stood on a hill overlooking the glowing trees. She felt a strange sense of connection, not only to the moon and its inhabitants, but to the universe itself.
Yoran,
she said softly.
I think I understand now. Freedom.
It's more than not being chained. It's choosing your path, learning, growing, helping others, too. Joran nodded.
Exactly.
and every choice you make now matters.
Every action shapes your path forward.
Lyra smiled faintly. Then, I want to learn everything.
I want to see everything.
And I want to help others, like you helped me.
Euron smiled. Then the journey continues.
And you won't be alone. The twin moons reflected in Lyra's eyes, bright and steady, as if echoing her newfound hope. The forest around them shimmered softly, alive with gentle energy. And somewhere deep in the glowing hills, the voice of the moon hummed a song of welcome, promise, and possibility. As night settled across the crystalline moon, Lyra felt her heart fill with determination. She had escaped her past, found trust, and discovered a place where she could belong. And soon she would step beyond this safe haven, into a universe filled with wonder, challenges, and endless adventure. But for now, she stood beside Euron, gazing at the glowing forest, feeling the quiet strength of friendship and freedom, knowing that whatever awaited them next, they would face it together. The stars outside sparkled like distant beacons, and Lyra whispered softly, almost to herself, "The universe is bigger than fear, and I am ready." Then let's see it, one step at a time. The hum of the ship, the glow of the moon, and the distant song of the universe surrounded them. For Lyra, this was the beginning not just of freedom, but of a life full of discovery, courage, and hope. Days passed on the glowing moon, and Lyra's confidence grew with each sunrise. She explored the crystalline forests, learned the soft musical language of the inhabitants, and shared quiet conversations with Euron, who always guided her gently. But despite the serenity of the moon, she felt a strange pull in her chest, a lingering question about the beings who had kept her chained for so long. Who were they, and why had they wanted to control her? One morning, as the twin moons rose slowly in the sky, painting the forest in soft silver and gold, Saren approached them with a message. "The council wishes to meet you both," he said.
They have knowledge of your journey, Lyra, and the history that follows you.
The thought of facing her past, even indirectly, made her stomach tighten. But Euron gave her a reassuring glance. "We face it together," he said simply. They followed Saren through winding paths of glowing trees to a vast chamber carved from crystal. Inside, beings of all shapes and sizes were gathered. Some shimmered like water in sunlight, others glowed faintly from within, and all of them radiated intelligence and calm. The council looked at them with gentle curiosity, not judgment. "Lyra," one of the council members spoke, a tall figure with eyes like liquid silver, "we know you were held by a group who sought to exploit your abilities."
You have escaped, yet traces of their influence remain. We can help you understand them and prepare for what may come.
Lyra swallowed hard, her throat tight. I just want to be free," she said, quietly.
And you are,
the silver-eyed council member replied.
"Freedom is not only absence of chains.
It is knowledge, understanding, and strength. You must see beyond fear to truly embrace it." Joran stepped beside her, placing a supportive hand on her shoulder. "You've already proven courage. This is the next step. Learning, so you can protect yourself and help others." The council began to show Lyra records of her past through crystal displays. Images floated in the air, flashes of her home world, scenes of other beings like her being captured, and glimpses of the places she had never known. Lyra's green eyes widened as the images shifted and told a story she had only guessed at before. They took us because we are rare," she whispered.
Our abilities, they thought we were dangerous."
"Yes," said another council member, a smaller figure with glowing golden eyes. "But rare does not mean weak. It means you have potential others cannot understand." You must learn to trust your instincts, your mind, and those who help you.
Yoran nodded.
And you're not alone anymore. Together, we can face what comes. The Council offered guidance on navigating the galaxy safely, teaching them about interstellar networks, hidden safe zones, and species that valued cooperation over conflict. Lyra absorbed it all eagerly. Every lesson strengthened her, not only physically but mentally and emotionally. She realized that her past, while painful, had prepared her for challenges she might face in the vast universe. That evening, Lyra and Yoran stood atop a hill overlooking the luminescent forest. The twin moons cast silver shadows, and the wind carried the soft hum of the trees and the creatures that lived among them.
Do you think they'll ever find me? Lyra asked quietly, the weight of old fear creeping back into her voice.
Joran shook his head. If they come, we will be ready. And the more you learn, the stronger you become. You don't need to fear them. You need to understand them, so their power over you ends completely. Lyra took a deep breath. I want that. I want to understand everything. Not just for me, but for others who might be in danger. Yoran smiled. Then your journey continues. The next few days were filled with exploration and training. Lyra learned to navigate the musical communication of the moon's inhabitants, practice with delicate energy tools that could manipulate light and sound, and observe the patterns of the glowing creatures around her. Each skill seemed small on its own, but together they formed a growing sense of confidence and self-reliance. One day, while exploring the outskirts of the glowing forest, Lyra spotted a faint shimmer on the horizon. A tiny spacecraft, old and battered, moving slowly across the moon's surface.
She froze. Yoran, someone is coming, she whispered.
He studied the vessel through his scanners. It's not like the others we've encountered. It seems damaged, almost abandoned. Curiosity got the better of them. They approached the craft, cautious, but ready. Inside, they found a small console blinking weakly, and a holographic projection flickered to life. It showed a map of nearby star systems, highlighting zones of safe passage, hidden stations, and areas marked with warnings.
This could be useful, Joran said. Someone left this intentionally, hoping it would be found. Lyra leaned closer, studying the map.
It shows places where others like me might exist. Places where beings are trapped or in danger.
Yes, Yoran said, and it means our mission is bigger than just keeping you safe.
We can help others too. The idea filled Lyra with both excitement and determination. For the first time, she realized her freedom was not just personal. It could be a force for good across the galaxy. She could use her knowledge, her experiences, and her new skills to help others find the same hope she had discovered. As night fell, the twin moons rose once again, bathing the landscape in silver light. Lyra sat beside Yoran, gazing at the holographic map. I feel ready, she said softly, ready to face whatever comes next. And you won't face it alone. Together we can explore, learn, and help others.
That is the path ahead.
The next morning, the council welcomed them with a new proposal.
The galaxy holds many secrets, Lyra, Saren said. Some are beautiful, some are dangerous, but all can teach us.
If you are willing, we will guide you to the outer systems, where you can use your freedom not just for yourself, but for all who need it.
Lyra nodded, her eyes shining with determination.
I am ready. I want to see the universe, and I want to make a difference.
Yoran smiled. Then let's begin. They spent the next hours preparing for the journey. Supplies were checked, energy modules calibrated, and the ship was upgraded with guidance from the Council's advanced technology. Lyra practiced with her new tools, learning to control energy currents, manipulate light patterns, and understand subtle rhythms of the natural universe. Each skill, while small, became a key to her independence and confidence. When at last they were ready to depart, the council gathered to see them off.
Remember, Saren said, freedom is a journey. It grows with you. Protect it, cherish it, and use it wisely.
Lyra bowed respectfully. I will.
Thank you for everything. The ship lifted smoothly from the crystalline platform, leaving the glowing moon behind.
As they sailed into the vastness of space, Lyra felt a quiet thrill of anticipation. The universe was vast, full of wonder and challenge, and now she had both the courage and the knowledge to navigate it. She turned to Yoren.
Where first?
He smiled, scanning the holographic map. Wherever the stars guide us, wherever someone needs help. Freedom is not just about being safe. It's about making a difference, no matter the distance. Lyra nodded, feeling a deep sense of purpose. She had escaped her chains, learned to trust again, and discovered her place in the universe. But more importantly, she realized that her journey was far from over. The galaxy was vast, full of beings who needed guidance, protection, or simply hope. And she could be the one to offer it. As the stars streaked past the ship, Lyra felt her heart fill with determination. She had embraced freedom, learned courage, and now carried the knowledge that she could help others, just as Yoren had helped her. The galaxy stretched endlessly before them, a tapestry of possibilities, and together, human and alien, they sailed forward, ready to face whatever wonders and challenges awaited. Lyra whispered softly to herself, I will not forget what it means to be free.
And I will help others find the same.
Joran glanced at her, pride shining in his eyes. That is the spirit that will guide us. And as the ship moved farther into the infinite expanse, the stars seemed to shimmer brighter, as if welcoming a new guardian of hope into their midst. The ship moved steadily through the quiet darkness of space, stars glimmering like distant lanterns. Lyra stood at the observation window, her hands pressed against the glass. The galaxy stretched endlessly before her, vast and full of possibilities. She had left the crystalline moon behind, but the lessons she had learned there, hope, courage, and trust, stayed with her, strengthening her with each passing moment. Joran entered the observation room, his gaze following the patterns of distant nebulae.
We're approaching a sector with reports of stranded travelers, he said. A small colony ship lost its course in a dense asteroid field.
They could use our help. Lyra's green eyes sparkled.
Then we go to them, she said firmly.
We can't let anyone be trapped if we can help. Joran smiled, proud of her determination. Exactly. But this will test everything you've learned. Your judgment, your courage, and your trust in others. As they neared the asteroid field, the ship's sensors displayed a chaotic scene. Rocks of all sizes drifted lazily but unpredictably, some spinning, some clustering in small groups. Nestled among them was a faint glimmer. The colony ship. It looked battered, its lights flickering, but it was intact. Lyra took a deep breath. We can do this, she said softly, more to herself than to Joran. Joran guided the ship carefully, navigating the narrow corridors between massive asteroids. Lyra watched the screens closely, her eyes catching patterns in the movement of the rocks. She realized that the key was observation, predicting movement, sensing rhythm, and adjusting in time. Steady, steady, she whispered, pointing to a cluster of spinning rocks.
If we angle left here, we can glide past them safely.
Joran nodded, trusting her instincts.
He adjusted the ship's trajectory according to her suggestions.
Together they moved like a single mind through the shifting field, each adjustment precise, each movement coordinated. The colony ship loomed ahead, small but hopeful. Its communication lights flickered weakly. Joran sent a message. We are here to guide you. Follow our path. A series of blinking signals responded, confirming that the stranded travelers were alive and capable of following directions. Lyra focused on the patterns, guiding the ship carefully. Each asteroid became a puzzle, each movement a test of patience and logic. Finally, after tense hours of careful navigation, the ship emerged from the heart of the asteroid field, the colony vessel close behind, following their path to safety. The view from the observation window was breathtaking. The distant stars sparkled like a promise, and the asteroid field lay behind them, no longer a danger. "They made it," Lyra said, relief flooding her voice. "We did it," Yoran smiled. "We did it together, and the colony will be safe because we worked as a team." When the colony ship docked at a nearby safe station, Lyra and Yoran were greeted with gratitude. Families, explorers, and travelers poured onto the docking platform, each expressing relief and thanks. Lyra felt a warm glow in her chest. She had made a difference, not just for herself, but for others. One of the colony leaders approached them, a humanoid figure with soft amber eyes. "You have saved us," she said. "Without your guidance, we might have been lost forever."
Lyra smiled, feeling a deep sense of accomplishment. "We were happy to help," she said simply.
That night, as the station settled into quiet, Lyra and Yoran stood together overlooking the city. The lights below twinkled like stars fallen to the surface, and the hum of life filled the air. "Do you remember," Yoran asked softly, "when you first left Dralara? How scared you were and how unsure of everything?" Lyra nodded. "I do. I was afraid I'd never be safe, that I'd never belong anywhere." "And now?" "Now," she said, looking at the city below and then at the stars above, "I know that freedom is not just being unchained. It's making choices, helping others, and trusting those who guide you. It's finding hope even when the path is uncertain." Yoran nodded. "Exactly. And you've become stronger than you knew, not because of me, but because of yourself. You trusted, you learned, and you acted. That is what makes you extraordinary." Lyra felt a small smile curve across her lips. She had once believed she was powerless, trapped by chains and fear. Now she realized she carried something far greater: courage, wisdom, and the will to make a difference. The next morning, the safe station received reports of another sector in need. A group of scientists studying a newly discovered planet had become stranded due to navigational anomalies. Without hesitation, Lyra and Yoran prepared their ship. "This is becoming a pattern," Yoran said as he plotted the course. "Wherever there's a challenge, we can offer guidance, and you're ready for it." "I want to help," Lyra said firmly. "I can't forget what it felt like to be helpless. If I can make even one life easier, I must." As they traveled toward the new sector, Lyra reflected on her journey, from the deserts of Dralara to the glowing forests of the crystalline moon, and now across the stars to aid others, she had grown in ways she had never imagined. Each experience had strengthened her, taught her patience, insight, and the importance of hope. The stranded scientists awaited them on a remote moon, their small ships tethered precariously to the rocky surface. Lyra guided Yoran with calm precision, directing the ship along safe trajectories and teaching the stranded crew the patterns of the local environment. With every step, every decision, Lyra felt the echoes of her past transform. The fear that had once defined her was replaced by confidence. The chains that had bound her body had long been removed, but now even the chains of doubt had fallen away. After ensuring the scientists were safely aboard and the moon cleared of danger, Lyra and Yoran set course for the next mission. The universe was vast, and there were countless travelers, explorers, and those in need. Every journey would be a chance to test their skills, spread hope, and inspire others. One evening, as they drifted through a nebula of soft violet light, Lyra looked at Yoran. "Do you think freedom is something everyone can achieve?" she asked.
Yoran considered her question. "It is," he said slowly. "But it takes courage, trust, and action. Some need help finding the path.
Others must take it themselves. You've seen both, and now you are proof that it's possible." Lyra nodded, feeling a sense of purpose deeper than she had ever known. She was no longer just a survivor. She was a guide, a protector and a beacon of hope for those who had none. As the ship moved through the swirling colors of the nebula, stars lighting their path, Lyra felt a quiet joy. The galaxy was vast, full of wonder, and entirely their own to explore. And whatever challenges awaited, she knew they could face them together. The universe stretched endlessly ahead, and Lyra whispered softly, a promise to herself and all she would help. I will guide. I will protect. I will be free, and I will help others find the same. Yoran watched her, pride in his eyes. Then we are ready, he said. The universe awaits, and we will meet it with courage, wisdom, and hope. And so, with stars as their companions and courage in their hearts, Lyra and Yoran sailed onward. The galaxy was full of mysteries, challenges, and infinite opportunities. But they knew one truth above all. Freedom, friendship, and the will to help others were forces stronger than fear, stronger than the darkness, and capable of lighting the path for anyone willing to follow. Together, human and alien, they moved forward, leaving behind the past, embracing the present, and stepping boldly into a universe of endless possibility. The stars glimmered as if cheering their journey, a tapestry of light stretching forever, promising adventure, discovery, and hope for every being brave enough to reach for it. Lyra turned once more to the observation window, her eyes shining with determination.
This is only the beginning, she said. And it was.